This is how narcissists keep their mask on for so long. Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. We truly appreciate your presence here. If you enjoy the content, please consider liking, subscribing, and sharing. One common question I often receive is, how can a narcissist convincingly portray themselves as someone they're not, and for such an extended period of time? Let's delve into this. Firstly, narcissists are highly adept at manipulation. Wearing a facade is as natural to them as breathing. They derive satisfaction from deceiving, manipulating, and ensnaring others. They excel at fostering relationships, only to abruptly shatter them, leaving their victims bewildered and in a state of emotional turmoil. Now, considering the duration for which narcissists maintain this charade, it's perplexing, isn't it? Can you imagine yourself, dear viewer, assuming a false identity for such an extended period? It's highly unlikely, unless under extreme circumstances. Yet, for narcissists, this is their daily routine. Let's imagine you entered into a marriage with a narcissist. Initially, everything seems idyllic during the love-bombing phase. However, behind the scenes, the narcissist is meticulously plotting their control and dominance over you. They gradually unveil their true selves, subtly shifting the balance of power within the relationship to suit their desires. Throughout this ordeal, you may have noticed glimpses of their true nature, moments where the mask slipped. However, lacking knowledge of narcissistic behavior, you may have dismissed these red flags, choosing instead to trust in the illusion they presented. Ultimately, the narcissist thrives on your ignorance and compliance. They depend on you disregarding their inconsistencies and remaining ensnared in their web of deceit. After some time, you gradually began to realize that this negative behavior was escalating. It grew increasingly sinister and occurred more frequently. Each time you confronted the narcissist about it, they would respond with a brief period of euphoria. For a day or two, everything would seem peaceful and serene, momentarily convincing you that the relationship wasn't so bad. However, just as quickly as it came, the facade would crumble, plunging you back into devaluation, gaslighting, stonewalling, and other forms of abuse characteristic of the narcissistic cycle. The ability of the narcissist to maintain this facade for an extended period can be attributed to their intermittent absences during the relationship. Whether they were on outings, trips, or spending time with friends, these moments served as opportunities for them to reset. While the specifics of what they did during these times remain unknown, it's likely they sought out new sources of validation or indulged in abusive behavior towards others. By periodically distancing themselves from you, they allowed you moments of respite, albeit often accompanied by continued abuse through texts or calls. Even if you were responsible for caregiving duties or other responsibilities, these brief reprieves offered a temporary escape from the toxicity of the relationship. Even when the narcissist was far away, you still found yourself obligated to keep them informed about the children's activities, what they ate, whether they made their beds, completed their homework, and justify your choices regarding their diet. Their attempts at parenting from a distance remained a constant concern, a topic deserving its own discussion in another video. During their absence, whatever activities they engaged in, we can only speculate. However, one thing became clear. It offered you a brief respite, a chance to recharge, albeit temporarily. Upon their return, the narcissist would meticulously readjust their facade, ensuring it remained firmly in place to minimize any slip-ups. And so, the cycle of abuse would begin anew. Navigating the murky waters of the narcissistic fog, you found yourself adrift, grappling with a loss of identity and a sense of self. Working tirelessly to meet the narcissist's demands, you struggled to comprehend the situation. All the while, your inner turmoil intensified, driving home the need for occasional reprieves, although such breaks were neither healthy nor typical in a loving, stable relationship. A healthy partnership requires several key components: shared time, individual pursuits, joint hobbies, and space for personal growth. Both partners should enjoy moments together and apart, nurturing their respective interests and friendships. However, in the clutches of a narcissist, the desire to please them often overrides such basic needs. Entrapped by manipulation and conditioning, you find yourself torn between the magnetic pull of the narcissist and the overwhelming urge to break free, a conflict that fuels your inner turmoil. Each time the front door creaked open, anticipation mingled with dread as you braced yourself for the unpredictable mood awaiting you on the other side. Would the evening unfold peacefully, or would it devolve into another onslaught of emotional abuse? Such uncertainty became a familiar companion, haunting your every interaction with the narcissist. Now, the enduring question remains: how does the narcissist maintain their facade for such an extended period? The answer lies in their strategic approach, viewing you as a means to an end. Whether it was your role in raising the children, providing financial stability, co-founding a business, or offering financial assistance, you served a purpose in the narcissist's eyes. This instrumental perspective extends to their treatment of their own children and every individual they encounter. Each is merely a pawn in the narcissist's self-serving agenda. Central to the narcissist's worldview is an unwavering self-interest. They prioritize their own needs above all else, viewing themselves as the protagonist in their personal narrative. To them, everyone else is expendable, their roles interchangeable in the grand production of their life's drama. This callous disregard for others underscores the toxic nature of narcissistic relationships, sparing no one from its corrosive influence. It's imperative to recognize that severing ties with narcissistic individuals, if possible, is the optimal course of action. Cutting off all contact and disassociating from their network of enablers, known as flying monkeys, is essential for self-preservation. Alternatively, employing the grey rock method, maintaining emotional detachment and minimizing engagement, can offer some reprieve from their manipulative tactics. Furthermore, understanding how the narcissist capitalizes on opportunities to reset their facade sheds light on their ability to perpetuate the illusion of normalcy. Consider scenarios where the narcissist, perhaps a stay-at-home parent, spent prolonged periods away from you, engaging in professional endeavors or traveling extensively. Despite physical distance, they maintained a virtual presence, utilizing technology to simulate intimacy and affection, thereby reinforcing their control over you, the primary breadwinner. In essence, whether the narcissist assumed the role of the homemaker or the provider, their modus operandi remained unchanged, exploiting every opportunity to secure narcissistic supply while perpetuating a facade of normalcy. Alright, let's delve into what unfolded in those scenarios. The narcissists, once again, distanced themselves from you, breaking the tether that bound you together. This separation provided them with the opportunity to seek out narcissistic supply. Utilizing various means such as social media, community interactions, or hobby groups if they were the stay-at-home parent. Meanwhile, you, as the primary earner, were occupied with work responsibilities. Consequently, when you returned home, the sight of the narcissist elicited feelings of longing and affection, fueled by the trauma bond and your unknowing entrapment in their manipulative web. For those adept at maintaining their facade over extended periods, several factors come into play. Firstly, wearing the mask becomes second nature, ingrained through habitual behavior. Secondly, their adeptness at manipulation enables them to navigate interactions effortlessly. Thirdly, during periods of absence from your presence, they have the opportunity to seek alternative sources of supply, recharge, or engage in abusive behaviors without scrutiny. This ability to retreat and return diminishes the necessity to uphold the facade exclusively with you, particularly post-love bomb phase. As the relationship progresses, cracks in the facade become apparent, signaling a shift in power dynamics. The narcissist, now assured of their control over you due to marriage, parenthood, or business ventures, feels emboldened to reveal their true nature. This often manifests in abusive behavior, not only towards you but also towards family members, past supply sources, friends, colleagues, or even strangers. Consider, for instance, their interactions with customer service agents. Recognizing the agent's vulnerability and reliance on their job, the narcissist exploits this power dynamic, subjecting them to verbal abuse with little fear of repercussion. This behavior highlights their inclination to target individuals in vulnerable positions, knowing that they are unlikely to challenge or retaliate against their mistreatment. Once more, if you entered into marriage with them, the dynamics shift significantly. However, it's crucial to grasp why the narcissist can maintain their facade for extended durations. Another contributing factor is their history of relationships. Were they enduring relationships? Likely not. Typically, narcissists have numerous sources of narcissistic supply. Hence, acquaintances often remark, "That person isn't toxic. I've known them for ages, and they've always been pleasant." Yet their perception is limited as they only engage with the narcissist sporadically, missing prolonged exposure to their true nature. Consider, does anyone truly understand the essence of the narcissist? No one does. When they shift their focus to new sources of supply, you're left bewildered, grappling with the realization that they never genuinely cared. The narcissist's departure often coincides with the depletion of your health, finances, or career prospects, leaving you stripped of the resources you once possessed. Then, they seamlessly transition to a new supply without a second thought. Post-discard, they remain indifferent to whether you perceive their mask slipping or not. In fact, they may even relish revealing their true selves to you, as long as you don't comprehend the depth of their deception. The analogy of a well-worn pair of shoes comes to mind. Initially pristine, but over time, wear and tear become evident, much like the gradual unveiling of the narcissist's true character. That encapsulates the essence of a narcissistic relationship. Initially, they seamlessly don the mask, much like slipping into a snug pair of shoes. However, as time progresses, just as shoes loosen, so does the mask. Eventually, both necessitate replacement. Why? Because that's the modus operandi of a narcissist trapped in their abusive cycle, which incessantly revolves around themselves, not you. They strive to inflict maximum damage, causing anguish and driving wedges between you and everything you hold dear: your children, finances, assets, and time. Consider the process of divorcing a narcissist. Was it smooth or expeditious? Far from it. Deliberately protracted, it entails every conceivable underhanded tactic, as they endeavor to extract every ounce of vitality, every last dollar and shred of hope. Why? Because you've unraveled their game, and they're determined to ascertain if you still harbor feelings for them. Their reaction to your indifference: unbridled rage. For narcissists deprived of love, care, and nurturance in their formative years, achieving recognition becomes paramount. To suggest otherwise is to invite their wrath, as they're driven to obliterate everything you hold dear, a retaliation born from their own deep-seated insecurities and traumas. And that's precisely the approach they take when facing divorce. Don't just take my word for it. Examine the multitude of divorces in Hollywood, politics, the military, or those involving individuals entangled with narcissists. These divorces are seldom smooth, swift, or economical. The narcissist meticulously drains every resource from the situation. This protracted ordeal illustrates their commitment to playing the long game rather than opting for quick wins. They assess whether you remain ensnared after all these years. If so, they acknowledge your resilience. If not, they've already extracted all they desired and moved on to their next source of supply. Therefore, scrutinize this situation meticulously. Understand the mechanisms enabling the narcissist to maintain the facade for extended periods. It's due to the factors I've outlined. Remember, no one is impervious to their tactics. However, equipping yourself with knowledge about narcissism and developing the ability to identify and block it will put you far ahead of those who are still trapped in a narcissistic fog. And see you next time, everyone. Have a nice day.